Alright, BobalosRex here. And since the release of this cinematic, Threads of Destiny, alright, you know, the Spider Queen, all this we're gonna discuss, okay? But since the release of this cinematic, now everyone has seen this mural, okay? It is now released, so this is technically not spoilers. But what I'm going to talk about in this lore rant will contain mild spoilers up into the point of the raid, because we don't know what's going to happen after. And I'm going to kind of speculate. So I am talking about some stuff we know about from the beta. So if you want absolutely no story info from the beta at all about the two queens, alright, and what happens after the cinematic and whatnot and everything, you've been warned. Okay? But if you're fine with... I'm just gonna talk about stuff in the expansion related to the two queens. Okay? That's it. I'm not gonna get into any more spoilers than that. Alright? And a little bit of the Ash Kahet. Alright? But I want to discuss this before we start, because we're gonna start learning more the second the expansion hits. Okay? So I'm getting this out now. Alright? Because some quests were locked off that we're gonna get, though, when it's live. Alright? And here's the thing. Taliesin already analyzed this whole video. A big discussion about it. This is a lore rant, so I get to discuss this differently. But, I do want to mention, he talks about this happening 10,000 years ago. And him doing that made me... Oh, that size so wrong for this. That him doing that made me be like, this is worth a lore rant. Because this happened at the end of BFA. No shot this did not happen at the end of BFA. And I've seen these commenters. Tons of people have thought this. And a lot of us are like, this is BFA. Clearly this is BFA. One, he mentions Nyalotha. And two, if this was the fall of the Black Empire, right? Why are these spiders? These would be Akir. These would be Akir. These are not Akir. This is not an Akir. This is a Nerubian. Alright? This is not an Akir. Alright, these are Nerubians. Okay? Did I call this guy a Kithir? He's an Enraki. People have confused him. I talked about it in... There is a version of this video that wasn't a lore rant. But in a lore rant, I'm free to blab on. Because I wanted to react to this, but I saw it too much. And I was like, this react ain't genuine. So it's a lore rant now. And you already can tell from the title, it's about the Spider Queens. The Spider Queens. These two are great. Personally, I love both of these. Ansarect as a villain. Nephris as a very cool queen. Like, I wish we got more lore on Nephris. And we do get some more lore in-game. And I am going to discuss what happens to her after this. Because look, if you watch this and you're like, well, the queen's dead. Clearly, she's dead. Until you see a body burnt. Until you see a dead body. They ain't dead. Come on. That's why I'm holding out for someone, but it's looking bleak. Okay, so the lore rant is about this. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I may talk about some stuff in this. That's why I have it loaded up. But listen up. This cinematic happened at a place. And I'm there. This is the place that it happened. Now you go here during the campaign. And this is part of a dungeon. As you can see, the followers. So I've now officially done my first dungeon, the City of Threads. And here we are at the mural. Xalatath came out of that. Coincidence? I talked about... Look at my Belladar lore rant. I talked about how this could have theoretically landed as a void crystal. We don't know. Alright? But you can check that out where I talk about the crystal. But very interesting that Xalatath came out of this. Okay? But we're in the room where it happened. So let's talk about the two queens. I got a lot to talk about. So let's get to the paper. So, the cinematic. Threads of Destiny. We learn about Nephris. The queen. Alright? Nephris, who is cool as hell. Nephris is cool as hell. Alright? She is... like I said, I wish we could see more. We see Ash Kahet. Now, I talked about this in the Spiders video, but here's the thing. Ash Kahet, the city, is old. This city is old, I suspect, okay? This city is as old as the Black Empire? Clearly. Oh, clearly. And here's the thing of note. This does not look like any of the old gods. Maybe Yasharaj. But here's the thing. Here, I'll pull it up. We got Yasharaj and Hearthstone. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 or 4 over here, and then this big one. This old god drives me crazy. This is asymmetrical. Wait! Could there technically be another eye here? So it'd be 5 on each side. And then a middle one? Here, let's look back at Yasharaj. Whiskers, one big eye. Yeah, see, I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it here. Let me fix it for y'all. How can I do this? I can do this here. It just ain't working. Alright? It did we've seen N'Zoth in game, we've seen Cthulhu in game, we've seen none of it matches. So this one feels different. And here's the interesting part, right? In the cinematic, right? It talks about the old gods are dead. Then we see the black blood. She's like, use the black blood. Blah, 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 blah. And then here's the thing. I think I've talked about it, but the Harnir talk about the black blood and it being inert and it being here for a long time. A long time. So either the long time is Cthulhu, or the long time is the 5th old god that people have been speculating on. And, you know, I've talked about how it could fit, how 5th old god can fit. I don't think I've necessarily been against a 5th old god. I don't think Xalatath is the 5th old god. I definitely don't think that right now. Okay? But theoretically, there could have been a 5th old god. And it does seem to be a 5th old god, even though the Titans say they say they imprisoned 4, but they didn't imprison Yogg-Saron. But then some texts say they found 4 and then dealt with Yasharaj, so it's not imprisoned 4, it's found 4. They Ridded won. They flung him out into space. One day, I hope he returns. They return. Yasharaj. But, the original 4 could have ganged up on a 5th. Yasharaj, Yog, Cthulhu, and N'Zoth could have been like, we all hate that guy. We all hate that one guy. They're all like, that guy is so... Every time this guy showed up, he's like, hey guys! They're like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. And then they conspired and they just like jumped him. Got rid of him. He's like, ah! Alright, there you go. There's a conspiracy. But we're talking Spider Queens. I got so off topic. The city's old. 5th old god. Xalatath Crystal. But what's up with the queens? Nephris. Okay, actually, let's start here. Let's start at the beginning. Why does this take place in BFA? 1, I don't think spiders live that long. We have evidence in game of her, Nephris, talking to Nubarak. Alright? They were king and queen similar times. Maybe this happened early in her reign. You know, they came begging her for help, and she was like, I cannot help you. They got fucked up by the Scourge. If she would have sent troops up there, they would have just got fucked up too. She learned her lesson. She saw what happened and was like, nope, I ain't dealing with that. And here's the thing. We know the Nerubians attacked Ulduar and the Vrykul and stuff. Yeah, they attacked Uldar and they got their shit kicked in. The Nerubians up north were fucking around. Her, not fucking around. The Nerubians of Azj-Kahet have coexisted. We're going to talk more about this. Have coexisted, especially if I think this city is as ancient as it is. This was a Akir city. This was an Akir city. Okay? No shot this wasn't an Akir city at some point. But the Akir turned into the Nerubian here. And in Northrend. I think a certain type of Akir turned into the Nerubian. And here's the thing. So I'm in this dungeon, right? Here's an interesting point. I'm in this dungeon. Evolution has long been a central part of Nerubian life. They've always been wanting to evolve from the Akir. And then they've evolved to move away from the old god influence. And even though it's weird, they have this mural, but Nephris is like, no, old gods, I ain't going back. But this is here. So it's very interesting that she's like, no, old gods, but this is their past. This is their history. You know, they did come from the Akir. Or they got turned into the Akir. You know, maybe Nerubians are older. Nerubians being older than the Akir would support this happening during the Black Empire. Okay? That would support that. Okay? But I don't think that, like I said, this happened in BFA. So, Nephris, cool, great queen. She knew about the Harbinger. But here's the thing. Xalatath explains exactly to our face why Nephris knows the Harbinger. Time magic, little sound effect. Who knows what's up with that? Infinite dragonflight. Who knows? Maybe. We're talking Spider Queens. You've heard my voice in your dreams, Great Queen. That's how she knows the Harbinger. She calls Xalatath, are you, like, the Harbinger? And Xalatath's like, yes. And then her daughter literally named Xalatath. Nephris doesn't know Xalatath. Nephris has heard about the Harbinger. Alright? To me, there's no evidence to support this happened during the Black Empire. Alright? Then we see this cool scene. Like I said, this isn't actually a cutscene cinematic, but we see the evolution, the change. And we also see different types of Nerubian, and we do see different types of ascensions. Not every ascension is this humanoidal spider. Like, all the spider is gone with this. But we do see more ascensions that are more spider-like. She at least has the multiple eyes. She grew a nose pretty much. But she kept the extra limbs. Like, they kind of keep some of the limbs. But we'll talk about how this ascension works and how it works differently for some. Which is a big factor, because look, this is the Transfertorium. This is like a splicer. They do like gene splicing. And this room existed during Nephris's reign. So this is interesting. The Nerubians do genetic editing or splicing. But they've been no void. Or no old gods. They're like, no, we swore off the old gods. Until Ansarek, who... I'm going to talk more about Ansarek and her associations a little bit later. She does associate with some void ladies. Zalatat the Harbinger. But let's talk about... Let's go down my list. So, BFA, these guys show up. Nephris is like, get out of here. Y'all gonna lose. I ain't getting involved. Slices him up. This thing he says to her is a prophecy, and I wrote it down. So, he's having a vision as he dies, and this is what he says. Your line will sever itself. This kingdom will wither with the waning of your world. And then he was cut off. I really wish we would have gotten more. Because you know he saw like Il'gynoth level of visions now that he knew what timeline he was in. Or what vision of the future he was seeing. Yeah. But the waning of our worlds. So, this was happening during BFA. Either he was talking about the line is going to sever itself during BFA, which it didn't. Because this happens later. Like, the later, this is earlier than later in the cinematic. So, did this dude in this moment realize, oh shit, we are going to lose in BFA? Like, as they deny, he's like, oh, we're losing in Nyalotha. Okay, but these spiders are going to lose later, and this is going to be when Azeroth is waning. So, expect the waning of our world to continue. I just wanted to mention that yeah, he's straight up having a vision. So this happened 7 years ago in my timeline, happening at the end of BFA. And then in 7 years' time, look, having a great time. Having a good time. Look at them.
We felt destined for greatness.
Yeah, she wants to make spiders great. Boom. That shading. Okay, our greatness was tarnished. So, let's get into this. This is the main thing I wanted to talk about. But, hold up. So, couple reasons why I know the first part of the cinematic happened in BFA. I've already went over it, but I want to go over my sheet. So, why is it happening in BFA? Original Last Stand, because here's the thing. He says Nyalotha. People could say, oh, well, the Last Stand in the original Black Empire could have happened in Nyalotha. No. It happened where Yogg was. Yogg was the last stand of the original Black Empire. N'Zoth got insta-blasted. Cthulhu got blasted. Then the Titan Keepers rolled up on Yogg, And he was like, nah. They had to get the whole crew to beat Yogg. Okay? And I don't know if Yogg's crib was just called Ny'alotha. If the realm is called Ny'alotha, then you could call it that. But this is clearly referencing the raid Ny'alotha, to a WoW player when he says, freaking our last stand in Ny'alotha. Yeah, BFA. I've been there. Okay? And then, yeah, there's Spider's Note of Kier. So, the kingdom begins to suffer between now and then. What happens in 7 years? What happens in 7 years? Well, I think we have evidence of a conspiracy. Okay? But let's go down my sheet. Nephra seems to know more than she's telling her daughter. Is there like a secret to the Nerubian kingdom passed down in the lines? And here's another part, right? You can look at Ansarek in this part. Clearly child. 7 years later, she's now an adult. She's like, she's aged. Alright? So, that's good. That makes sense. Because here's the thing. We don't know how spiders age. But are you thinking these guys live for 10,000 years? Actually, the fall of the Black Empire would be like 20,000 years ago. 20,000 years. Was Anubarak king that long? No. There's been other kings and queens. There's a history of spider lords and spider queens. This is an ancient city. There's been lines of spider queens, okay, that have existed and apparently coexisted with these earthen. The earthen live up top, spiders in the bottom. Again, we don't know when the earthen came. It would have been a long time ago, at least 10,000 before 10,000 years ago they came here. All right, so at least 15,000, I'm guessing. They've been here 15 to 20,000. They coexisted. Nerubians in the hollow, dwarves up top, Haranir have existed with the spiders just fine. Haranir have existed with the spiders just fine in their own little area. I am speculating on where that is. All of them have coexisted for at least 10,000 years. At least. Most likely longer. 7 years? What the fuck? All of a sudden the Nerubian are going cray? What's happening 7 years ago? Oh my god, I skipped ahead. Pause. Let's talk about the other stuff. Roll it back. Think about the time frame here, but let's talk about this. The old gods are dead. I don't think the old gods are dead. Listen. Whatever comes out of Xalatat, look at this lady, right? Look at this lady. Hold up, let's see her. Look at this lady.
You have heard my voice in your dreams.
Hold up.
Queen.
Look me in the eye. I don't care how horny you are for this elf. Are you telling me you believe any word coming out of her mouth is truth? No, she manipulating you. There you go. If you want to be manipulated by her, have your fun. This is a video game. Have your fun. But she lying. She a damn liar. Okay? Old gods aren't dead. Yogg is playing a game. N'Zoth, seen the future, he's in a dagger. They ain't dead. Mm-hmm. No. Cthulhu maybe. Cthulhu may Cthulhu, Yashiraj, I think Yashiraj's floating in space upset. Okay? Head cannon, my cannon. Okay? Blizzard said we can have our own cannon. That's my head cannon. Until we see a body that ain't being lied about. Look at this. Look, dagger on the floor. Dagger on the floor. Where's the dead Nazoth? Look at that, dagger on the floor. Okay, it's like, oh, this signifying Zalatath. Look at this. Fake news. Fake news. Fake. Fake. She edited it. She edited it. I was there. This ain't what it looked like. Some funny business was going on. Okay? That ain't what it looked like. Alright. Okay. Zalatath says here, this is the best, like, what she says.
Yes, of the empire, a kingdom.
Right there. Look at this. Look at this. A shadow has fallen on your kingdom. Oh, really? A shadow. By who? How long ago we freed Zalat? Oh my god. When did we free Zalatath from the dagger? Oh my god. Yo! When did we free Zalatath from the dagger? In BFA. In BFA. In BFA. A shadow has fallen in your kingdom. Yeah. You. Oh my god. It's right there. Okay, so next I have talking about the blood of the old gods, whose blood Cthulhu. It's given power. I did have here Beladar changing also happened 7 years ago, but again, why would Beladar change? Because Sargeras stabbed? I mean, actually, it happens the day Sargeras stabbed it. The end of BFA would fit for the shadow. BFA was 7... Hold up. Yeah, BFA ended 7 years ago. Sargeras stabbed the world 9 years ago then. Hold on. Oh my god, this is so confusing now. Hold up. Visions of Nazoth. 33. No, 34. Okay, 34. Almost 35. Okay. Dragonflight happens at 40. Let's assume this is 42. Look, okay, let's say we're at Dragonflight 40. So 6 years ago. BFA. Sargeras stabs the sword 7 years ago. Alright. Basically. Almost 7. Okay, and then a couple of years later, Shadow Defense. So it could be Beladar. It could be Beladar changing. But this works too well. She is freed from the dagger. That's what changed. She called it out. A shadow has fallen on your kingdom. Yeah, you. Okay, so oh, okay, I have written here. There's a lot of stuff we see in this story that's like same story beats. Regicide, Spider Queen Arthas, blood drinking, she's Spider Grom, power hungry leader, Suramar, rebel faction. So we are going to see, most likely, I think we're going to see Ansurek defeated. Now, for the beta spoilers, Nephris ain't dead. And we see her transformed into the first Ascended in this room. And here's the weird part, right? She looks kind of like this. So you can ascend things and make them freaking crazy looking. Or you can just do the light void. I want to be a spider elf. Right? You can be spider elf. Or you can be big monster. Okay? We see what the upper class chooses. They don't want to be no monster. Alright? Now, will she survive? Because I'm not going to say who, but characters are like, now that she's turned into this, like, monster, is she worth saving or whatever? We may get, like, a spider triumvirate. I was reading through the quest line. So, we are going to see maybe a new faction of spiders take over in Ashkahet after the queens. Well, let's get into this last little bit. So, Ashkahet is an ancient city. The kingdom is old. So what caused the change? I'm really thinking it's Zalatath now. Earthen, not likely. They coexisted for centuries. Haranir, not likely. They talk about the blood being inert, and it's not until Zalatath doing her thing have they been concerned. Arathi, 15 years ago they arrived. Growth could have caused the conflict, and they are the main enemy of the kingdom. But who could have started that war? Who could have started the war between the Arathi and the Nerubians? Because when we come in, we work with some Nerubians just fine. We also find out the Nerubians are blind, which is kind of cool, I guess. And we sneak around with scent, you know. And then we learn that the black blood, if you drink the black blood, Zalatath can mind control you. It's crazy. And that's why I definitely think Zalatath's behind it all. Oh my god. I had here the Arathi, but that lines up too well. Between 33 and 40 Dragonflight, or 42 where we are at now. At the end of BFA, the Black Empire comes to these Nerubians and are like, hey, help us. Okay? Spider Queen says no. He has a vision, says this is gonna happen. Alright? He dies, N'Zoth gets defeated. Zalatath may have been the one telling the dude what to say in the vision. And Zalatath may have begun pulling the strings to get Ansurek on the throne from the get. That has to be. Because that lines up perfectly timeline-wise. Nerubians fall off. A shadow will creep. A shadow has befallen your civ. Yeah, Zalatath. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. That fits so well. Okay. That's the lore rant, man. I made a big revelation. Yeah, that's great. The Spider Queens are great. I like these two characters. We are most likely going to defeat Ansurek. Probably for good. Everybody wants her done in this city. For teaming up with the Void. Or a lot of people. You know, they're her loyalists too. There is one last thing I want to say. Okay. You know, and this is extra. The lore rant is done, but we gotta talk about the agenda, okay? She got a Nexus princess hanging out in her room. She teaming up with Xalatath. Look at this. Oh my god, that's crazy. Listen. We all know it. Ansurek is a lesbian. And you know what? Good for her. Good for her. She's got people trying to get with her too, which is funny. And I'm like, we know what she is. We know what she is. They trying to get with her, and she like, yeah, keep trying. She got her Nexus princess and her other Void princess. But, listen up. Nephris is a bi icon, let me tell you. I got receipts. I got conclusions. Alright? There's a character that we team up with called Widow Arachne or something like that. And she talks about loving the queen. Very interesting. He's like, I loved our queen so much. And you a widow now? Did you just pick up that title? I know we in Spider Town, but we know what a widow is. And here's the thing. We know Nephris got with a boy spider, I think. Because we got Ansurek. So that's it. That's the agenda. That was... I just had to call it like I see it. Bi queen. You know, and then... Yeah, Ansurek's a lesbian. And like I said, good for her. But you know what? She on the wrong side. She on the wrong side of this battle. Alright? And anyone teaming up with Xalatath after what Xalatath does... may do in the future... hands from me. That's it. We coming for you, queen. You may be slain, but I'm gonna slay you. So yeah, that's my lore rant. I had to get the last bit off my chest because it's so clear coded. I had to call it out. And it's fine by me, man. I'm fine with the rainbow. Alright? I'm for the community. Alright? So good for her. I'm just calling it out. Where I see it. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.